Every man is at war, not always with fists, not always with swords, sometimes with silence, with envy, with betrayal, and most dangerously, with the battlefield of his own mind. You wake each morning already engaged in combat, with doubt, with weakness, with the whispers of fear that try to seduce you into surrender. If you cannot master your thoughts, you will be enslaved by them. Weak men are ruled by fear, addicted to comfort, chained to illusions. They build prisons for themselves and then beg for the key. But strong men bend reality. They do not wait for fortune, they forge it. They do not bow to circumstance, they manipulate it. Their weapon is discipline, their shield is clarity, their crown is control. This is the law Machiavelli understood. Power never comes to those who merely dream. It comes to those who are ruthless enough to command themselves before they command others. The mind is the throne, and only one will sit on it, you or your weakness. So ask yourself now, are you here to be ordinary, forgotten, replaceable? Or are you here to rise above, to become untouchable? Comment this phrase below: I command my mind, I command my fate. Number 1. The first law of mental war. To win any battle, you must first strip away the illusions. The world does not reward honesty, it rewards power. Men are not judged by what they deserve, they are judged by what they can enforce. Weak minds cling to fairness, believing that if they suffer in silence, fate will eventually balance the scales. That is a lie. Machiavelli knew this truth centuries ago. Fortune bends only for those who seize it with iron hands. And you, if you are serious about training your mind, must kill the disease of self-pity because it rots your strength faster than any enemy blade. Power begins not in muscles, not in wealth, not in titles. It begins in the unseen chambers of your mind. Your thoughts are soldiers. If they are disorganized, undisciplined, and driven by fear, then your empire collapses before the war even begins. But if you command them with order, with precision, with cold discipline, then no enemy can penetrate your walls. This is not philosophy for the dreamers, this is strategy for the conquerors. Every time weakness whispers, you silence it. Every time fear rises, you crush it underfoot. You must become your own tyrant before the world crowns you king. Power respects no hesitation. The one who hesitates is devoured. Ask yourself this: are you feeding your fear or are you feeding your fire? The choice is yours, and it is made every single day in the secrecy of your thoughts. To train your mind is to build an empire that no betrayal, no failure, no enemy can collapse. This is your first law: control yourself or be controlled forever. Comment this now to claim it. I rule my thoughts, nothing rules me. Let it echo through your mind until it hardens into instinct, because only when you chain your mind to your will can you walk into the world untouchable. Number 2, the cold discipline of power. Understand this. Discipline is not a choice. It is the foundation of every empire, every throne, every man who carved his name into eternity. Without discipline, power leaks through your fingers like water. Men fall because they cannot govern their appetites, their tempers, their impulses. They chase fleeting pleasures, and in doing so, they surrender their crown before they ever wear it. But the man who disciplines himself becomes untouchable because no bribe, no weakness, no temptation can chain him. This is where most collapse. They want strength but avoid suffering. They want power but avoid the price. And yet Machiavelli knew, suffering is not your enemy. Comfort is. Comfort lulls you to sleep while your enemies sharpen their blades. Comfort whispers lies of safety while the world conspires to devour you. Discipline is the cold steel that awakens you. It is the silent oath you make to yourself in the dark when no one is watching. The law of power is simple. If you cannot rule yourself, you will be ruled by others. Every action you take either strengthens your empire or weakens it. Every thought you indulge either trains your mind for war or leaves it soft for slaughter. You must rise each day with the mindset of a commander, drilling your mind like soldiers before battle. No excuses, no pity, no hesitation. When others indulge, you restrain. When others doubt, you act. When others break, you endure. This is the discipline of cold power. It sharpens you into a weapon the world cannot dull. Your enemies will not fear your smile, your kindness, or your dreams. They will fear your consistency, your refusal to bend, your ability to endure what they cannot. That is the true mark of a ruler. So I ask you, are you sharpening your edge or letting it rust? Are you feeding strength or feeding weakness? Decide now, because indecision is already defeat. Write it in the comments to seal it. My discipline is my empire, and I rule without mercy. Etch it into your mind. Etch it into your blood. Because when discipline is absolute, you do not just survive the battlefield, you dominate it. Part 3. The art of ruthless clarity. Clarity is a weapon sharper than any blade. Most men are blind, stumbling through life, distracted, emotional, and clouded by illusions. They drown in noise, other people's opinions, empty promises, fleeting pleasures, and because of this, they are easy to manipulate, easy to control, easy to break. But the man who trains his mind to see with ruthless clarity becomes untouchable. He pierces through the fog of lies, sees people not as they pretend to be, but as they truly are, motivated by fear, greed, envy, and hunger. This is the essence of Machiavellian power, not to hope that men are good, but to understand that they are weak and to use their weakness as fuel for your rise. A clear mind is dangerous because it cannot be deceived. You will not be swayed by flattery nor shaken by insults. You will not chase fantasies. You will hunt opportunities. Clarity cuts through the mask of society and exposes the raw truth. No one is coming to save you, no one cares about your excuses, and the world respects only results. This truth is cold, but it is liberating. When you see the battlefield as it is, you no longer waste time begging for fairness. You prepare strategies for conquest. When emotions flare, you observe them like a commander observing soldiers, calculating, detached, in full control. Clarity gives you command over yourself and leverage over others. The emotional man is a slave to reaction, but the clear man dictates the outcome. He chooses when to strike, how to strike, and why. This is why clarity must be trained daily, like a blade constantly sharpened. You achieve it through silence, through observation, through studying the patterns of people without being caught in their noise. Do not seek approval, seek understanding. Do not seek comfort, seek truth. Every moment, ask yourself, is this real power or is this illusion? Train your mind to see through the smoke, and no manipulation will touch you. Comment this phrase now to mark your oath. I see through lies and I walk with clarity. Say it, write it, claim it, because clarity is the armor of kings and the nightmare of deceivers. The man who sees reality as it is already stands one step above every enemy. Number 4. Turning pain into power. Pain is the most feared enemy of weak men, but it is the most loyal servant of the strong. Every betrayal, every humiliation, every failure you've endured is not a curse, it is a weapon, but only if you choose to forge it. Understand this. Life will test you, life will break you, life will grind you into the dirt without mercy. Most men cry out, curse their fate, and collapse under the weight of suffering. They beg for comfort, for pity, for rescue, and in doing so, they prove themselves unworthy of power. But you must become something different. Machiavelli wrote that fortune is a woman, and only the bold, the relentless, the disciplined can master her. This means you cannot fear pain. You must strip it bare, look it in the eyes, and turn it into your steel. Every scar becomes armor. Every betrayal becomes insight. Every failure becomes strategy. This is the alchemy of cold power, transforming wounds into weapons. The weak hide from pain, the strong harvest it. You must ask yourself, are you a man who breaks under pressure or a man who sharpens under it? Because pain will not ask permission, it will strike, and when it does, you either fall like the rest or rise above as the exception. Pain is a teacher more honest than any friend, more ruthless than any mentor. It does not flatter, it does not lie. It exposes exactly where you are weak, and once you know, you have a choice. Either remain broken or fortify that weakness into strength. This is why rulers are born from suffering, not from ease, not from luxury, but from enduring storms that would drown lesser men. The path to becoming untouchable runs straight through fire, and only those who embrace the burn are forged into weapons. When the world betrays you, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "How will this make me stronger?" When failure mocks you, don't drown in shame. Study it, dissect it, and build a new strategy. Pain gives you knowledge others cannot bear to face. That knowledge becomes your advantage. That advantage becomes your throne. Remember this, your enemies fear not your comfort. They fear your endurance. They fear the man who refuses to break. They fear the one who turns every strike into fuel for his rise. Comment this oath below. I turn my pain into power, and no force can break me. Say it until it burns into your mind. Because once pain is no longer your enemy, you have no enemies left. You become untouchable. Number 5. Mastering the chessboard of minds. Power is not only about ruling yourself, it is about mastering the minds of others. Life is a chessboard, and every person you meet is a piece. Some are pawns, predictable and expendable. Some are knights, unpredictable in their movements. Some are rooks, powerful in straight lines but blind to subtlety. Few are queens, with influence and reach across the board. And only one will be king, the one who sees the game clearly and moves with strategy rather than emotion. Most men are pawns, unaware they are even on the board. They drift, manipulated by stronger wills, fooled by promises, enslaved by illusions. They believe they are free, while every step they take is calculated by another. Machiavelli understood that men are not driven by lofty ideals, but by fear, desire, and self-interest. If you control these, you control them. That is the cold law of mental power. To command others, you must first understand what chains them. Some men are bound by greed. Offer them gold, and they will sell their soul. Others are bound by vanity. Feed their ego, and they will walk willingly into your trap. Many are bound by fear. Threaten what they value, and they will bow without resistance. To master minds, you must not see people as they pretend to be. You must see the strings that control them. And when you see the strings, you pull them. This is not cruelty. It is strategy. Do not deceive yourself into thinking the world plays fair. It never has. Those who cling to ideals of fairness are the easiest prey. The world is ruled by manipulation, influence, and leverage. You must decide now, will you be the one pulling strings or the one being pulled? Understand, this is not about malice, it is about survival. To survive, you must influence. To rule, you must control. The key is detachment. Do not allow emotions to cloud your judgment. Study people the way a hunter studies prey. Watch their movements, their words, their insecurities. Learn their patterns. The masses move in predictable rhythms. Break that rhythm, and you dominate them. The man who can remain calm while others drown in emotion becomes the master of the board. Every insult, every betrayal, every attempt to deceive you becomes data, information that sharpens your advantage. Never react immediately, always calculate. Because the one who reacts loses, and the one who observes dictates. This is the Machiavellian way. Appear harmless if needed, appear kind if useful, but never lose sight of your goal. Manipulate perception, because perception is reality. If they believe you are strong, you are strong. If they believe you are in control, then you already are. The weak man reveals his intentions. The powerful man conceals them until the decisive strike. The weak man complains about betrayal. The powerful man expects it, uses it, and turns it against the betrayer. Remember this, people are not loyal to you. They are loyal to what you provide. Withdraw it, and they scatter. Understand it, and you hold their leash. The chessboard of minds belongs to the man who sees 3 moves ahead. He does not waste energy on petty battles. He positions himself so his enemies destroy each other. He does not shout for attention. He draws it by force of presence. He does not chase power. Power gravitates to him because he commands clarity, discipline, and control. This is how rulers are made. Not by accident, not by luck, but by cold calculation and relentless will. So I ask you, are you ready to see people not as they pretend to be, but as they truly are? Are you ready to master the board? Then comment this below and let it brand itself into your mind. I am the master of the board and no mind controls me. Say it, claim it, because once you see the strings, once you control the moves, you are no longer a player. You are the game itself. Number 6, becoming untouchable. Power is fragile to those who chase it, but eternal to those who embody it. To become untouchable is not to be without enemies. It is to render enemies powerless against you. Weak men spend their lives dodging conflict, begging for peace, and hiding from judgment. Strong men understand that conflict is inevitable, that judgment is constant, and that power lies in becoming so hardened, so precise, so dangerous that nothing external can break the fortress within. Machiavelli said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Why? Because fear is reliable, while love is conditional. Love changes when fortunes shift, when opinions turn, when envy poisons admiration. But fear survives. Fear lingers. Fear makes men hesitate before striking, even when they want to. Fear builds a barrier around you that no affection could ever maintain. Yet to wield fear properly, you must first rule yourself. You must become a man who does not flinch when threatened, who does not crumble when betrayed, who does not break when pressed to the edge. Weakness must be strangled at its root. Every day, every hour, your emotions will betray you faster than any enemy. If anger rules you, they will bait you into reckless moves. If vanity rules you, they will flatter you into blindness. If greed rules you, they will dangle gold until you kneel. If comfort rules you, they will wait until you are soft, then devour you. But when you command yourself with iron, when you chain your instincts to discipline, when you no longer fear discomfort, betrayal, or pain, you become untouchable. Imagine the terror of your enemies when they realize nothing moves you. Imagine the confusion of manipulators when their tricks fall flat. Imagine the respect of the masses when they see you endure storms that destroy everyone else. Untouchable men are rare because the path is brutal. You will walk alone. You will be misunderstood. You will be hated, envied, and attacked, but you will endure, and that endurance will make you a force that cannot be ignored. Understand this truth. Power does not come from avoiding the fire. It comes from walking through it and emerging untouched. Every scar becomes armor. Every loss becomes a weapon. Every betrayal becomes foresight. This is the arsenal of the untouchable, and do not mistake coldness for cruelty. To be untouchable is not to be heartless. It is to never allow your heart to be used against you. It is to love without weakness, to trust without dependence, to give without expectation. It is the ability to stand alone if every ally vanishes, to endure in silence if every voice turns against you, to rise in power even when the world conspires for your fall. This is not a fantasy, it is a law, and like all laws, it demands a price. You will sacrifice comfort because comfort weakens. You will sacrifice approval because approval is a leash. You will sacrifice illusions because illusions cloud clarity. But in return, you will gain an empire within yourself that no enemy, no failure, no betrayal can topple. This is the throne Machiavelli wrote about. The throne of the mind, the seat of cold power, where strategy, endurance, and dominance reign. You must see yourself as a fortress, walls of discipline, gates of clarity, soldiers of thought, weapons of resilience. Inside this fortress, you are untouchable. Outside it, the world burns, men betray, fortune turns, but within, you are sovereign. To become untouchable is to terrify weakness, to command respect, to shape destiny rather than be shaped by it. This is the law. Master yourself, and nothing external can conquer you. Comment this oath below to anchor it into your mind. I am untouchable, and no power on earth can break me. Write it, claim it, etch it into your very identity, because once you cross this line, you are no longer just surviving the battles of life. You are dictating them. You are no longer just a player. You are the war itself. Number 7, the law of absolute sovereignty. To rule others, you must first rule yourself, and to rule yourself, you must first destroy the illusions that chain ordinary men. Sovereignty begins not with crowns or titles, but with mastery over the one battlefield that determines all others, the mind. Most men are prisoners inside their own skulls, slaves to cravings, to anger, to jealousy, to doubt. They are like kingdoms without walls, ready to be invaded by anyone stronger, louder, or more cunning. They believe they have freedom because they chase whatever impulse arises, but that is not freedom. That is slavery. Freedom is not the ability to indulge every desire. Freedom is the ability to command desire and force it into obedience. The untouchable man is not a man without hunger, without anger, without temptation. He is a man who bends these fires into tools. He takes his fear and turns it into foresight. He takes his anger and molds it into focus. He takes his pain and reforges it into power. That is sovereignty, to not eliminate emotion, but to enslave it. Machiavelli understood that rulers cannot be ruled by the same forces that govern the masses. The crowd obeys pleasure, pain, fear, and comfort. The sovereign manipulates these forces but never bows to them. And here lies the cold law. If you cannot command yourself, you will never command the loyalty, respect, or fear of others. To become sovereign is to live in detachment. You no longer react to insults. You use them as maps of your enemy's insecurity. You no longer collapse at betrayal. You anticipate it, absorb it, and use it as leverage. You no longer hunger for approval. You stand as your own fortress, knowing that the world admires consistency more than charm. And when you master this, the game shifts. Suddenly, you are not a piece on the chessboard. You are the player moving the pieces. Others will seek your validation. Others will beg for your attention. Others will bend their actions to please you, to align with you, to not lose you. Why? Because you are no longer desperate for them. The sovereign is the one who walks away and loses nothing, while others lose everything when he withdraws. You must engrave this into your mind. The ability to walk away, to endure alone, to command yourself in silence, is the greatest power a man can possess. The sovereign does not beg, he does not chase, he does not collapse. He observes, he calculates, he decides, and the world bends to those decisions. People will call you cold, ruthless, unfeeling. Let them, because only those who are chained to weakness fear the strength of sovereignty. To become sovereign is to terrify mediocrity, because mediocrity cannot comprehend how a man can stand unshaken by storms that destroy them. You will be hated by some, envied by many, admired by few, but you will be respected by all, even those who despise you. And respect, more than love, more than friendship, more than applause, is the true currency of power. Remember this: men may pretend to love you, but they never pretend to respect you. Respect is earned through sovereignty, through coldness, through the refusal to be swayed. Sovereignty is not given, it is seized. And once seized, it cannot be taken unless you surrender it. So ask yourself, have you surrendered sovereignty to your anger, to your lust, to your comfort, to your need for validation? If so, strip it back, reclaim it, build walls around your mind that no weakness can breach. Train daily, harden relentlessly. Walk through life not as a beggar for approval, but as a sovereign of your own empire. This is the law. To be sovereign, you must master yourself with such discipline that others sense it in your silence, in your gaze, in your presence. Speak little, observe much, move with precision. The sovereign does not waste words, does not waste energy, does not waste life. Every action is deliberate, every choice is strategy, every step is power. This is what it means to be untouchable. Comment this oath below and seal it into your identity. I am sovereign over myself, and no man holds my leash. Write it, claim it, repeat it, because sovereignty is not about ruling the world, it is about ruling the one thing that controls the world, your own mind. Number 8, the shadow within. Every man carries a shadow, the darker side of himself that he hides from the world, that he denies in the name of morality, in the name of civility, in the name of fear. Yet it is this shadow, this concealed force, that holds the key to untouchable power. Weak men repress their shadow, bury it deep, and in doing so, they become incomplete. They become predictable, soft, incapable of true dominance. But the man who confronts his shadow, who integrates it, who bends it into obedience, he becomes whole, he becomes dangerous, he becomes sovereign. The shadow is not your enemy, it is your unrefined arsenal. It is your aggression, your ambition, your ruthlessness, your hunger, stripped of masks. If you deny it, it rules you unconsciously. If you master it, you wield it consciously. Machiavelli understood this in the cold politics of survival. It is not enough to be good, because goodness alone makes you prey. You must be capable of danger, capable of cruelty, capable of absolute force. Then choose when to unleash it. A harmless man is weak. A dangerous man under control is powerful. The shadow grants you the fire that others suppress. It gives you the will to act when others hesitate, the strength to cut ties when others cling, the clarity to strike when others tremble. But only if you control it. Uncontrolled, the shadow corrupts. It blinds you with rage. It devours you with greed. It poisons you with arrogance. Controlled, it becomes your hidden weapon, your silent ally, your unseen strength. To master the shadow, you must first face it. Look directly at the impulses you fear, the hungers you hide, the truths you bury. Expose them in silence, strip them of shame, and make them kneel before your will. Your shadow is not something to kill, it is something to command. Every ruler in history who commanded nations had first mastered the darkness within himself. Without it, he would have been crushed by stronger, hungrier men. Your enemies will not hesitate to use their shadows. Why would you disarm yourself? The untouchable man walks the earth with his light sharpened by his darkness. He is calm because he knows the depths of his own rage. He is merciful because he knows the scale of his own cruelty. He is unbreakable because he has made peace with the very forces that break other men. To be sovereign, you must become a fusion of both, the strategist and the predator, the thinker and the destroyer, the light and the shadow. That is the law of total power. To know yourself so completely that no one else can use you against yourself. Comment this oath now. I command my shadow and my shadow obeys. Write it, claim it, repeat it, because when you master your shadow, you master the battlefield within, and from that mastery, no external enemy can ever defeat you. Number 9. The crown of cold power. Power is not given, it is not inherited, it is not bestowed by fortune or chance. Power is carved, forged, and seized by those who refuse to bend. At the peak of this path lies the crown, not a crown of gold or jewels, but a crown of cold power. A crown that cannot be stolen, cannot be toppled, cannot be shattered. This crown rests not on your head, but within your mind. It is invisible to the weak, but undeniable to the strong. It radiates in your silence, it cuts through your gaze, it commands in your presence, and those who encounter it feel it. They bow, they hesitate, they whisper, because deep within, they know they are standing before someone untouchable. This is the final stage of mastery. You have endured pain, turned it into power. You have walked through storms, turned scars into armor. You have mastered clarity, ruled discipline, confronted the shadow within. And now the crown awaits you. But the crown has its law. It demands that you transcend beyond being a man controlled by anything external. You must no longer need applause, for applause is fickle. You must no longer need loyalty, for loyalty is fragile. You must no longer need love, for love is conditional. What remains when all is stripped away? The crown of cold power, built on sovereignty, discipline, clarity, and the ruthless understanding of human nature. Men with crowns of gold rise and fall. Empires with crowns of territory are built and destroyed. But the man with the crown of cold power reigns as long as he breathes, for his kingdom is his mind, and no one can invade it. You must now see the world as a ruler, not a subject. When others whine about unfairness, you exploit it. When others collapse at betrayal, you anticipated it. When others fall to weakness, you rise by refusing it. This crown does not make you immune to suffering. It makes you unshaken by it. It does not protect you from enemies. It makes enemies irrelevant. It does not erase your solitude. It makes solitude your throne room. Machiavelli wrote that it is better to command respect than to be loved, better to be feared than to be ignored, better to be sovereign than to be enslaved. The crown of cold power is earned when you no longer chase. You no longer seek validation. You no longer bend. Instead, you stand as the immovable force that bends the world around you. This crown cannot be displayed, yet everyone senses it. They see it in your restraint, in your control, in your refusal to collapse when others crumble. They feel it in your discipline, in your endurance, in the weight of your presence. And here lies the greatest truth. Once the crown of cold power is yours, you no longer need to announce it. The world will announce it for you. People will whisper of your strength. Enemies will hesitate before striking. Allies will rally without request. Not because you begged, not because you pleaded, but because you built yourself into something undeniable. This is the law. Men follow strength, and the crown of cold power is strength incarnate. But beware, the crown is heavy. It demands vigilance. It demands you remain sharp, disciplined, ruthless. If you grow soft, if you indulge weakness, if you allow flattery to blind you or comfort to seduce you, the crown slips, and once it slips, the world devours you. Kings fall faster than pawns because kings carry the weight of envy. To wear the crown of cold power is to walk with a target on your back, but also with armor so strong no arrow can pierce it. The question is not whether you can earn the crown. The question is whether you can bear it. And bearing it means living every day as if you are under siege, never lowering your guard, never abandoning your clarity, never bowing to softness. If you endure, if you remain unyielding, then you will hold the only crown that truly matters, the one that makes you untouchable. Comment this oath below. The crown of cold power is mine, and I will never surrender it. Write it, claim it, seal it into your blood, because once the crown rests on your mind, you are no longer a man among men. You are a sovereign among pawns, a ruler among pretenders, a king whose throne can never be toppled. Number 10. The protocol of invisible influence. You do not win every battle by shouting. You win by shaping the air others breathe. Influence is not noise, it is architecture. You design frames, you control context, you define what matters and when. The weak speak to be heard, the strong move in silence to be obeyed. Your first law here is simple. Manage perception before you manage action. Appear predictable in small things so you can be decisive in the one move that matters. Cultivate a reputation of control. Calm voice, steady eyes, minimal words. Let people project strength onto your silence. Give them room to reveal themselves. They will hand you their motives if you listen long enough. Guard your intentions like a fortress. Announce nothing until the ground is yours. The second law, control the flow of information. Truth is a blade. Timing is the handle. Share little and only with purpose. What you withhold is leverage. What you release strategically to align others without begging. The third law, design options. Do not argue for one path. Build the architecture where every path leads to your advantage. When men choose freely and still serve your aim, your influence is invisible and absolute. This is not malice. This is mastery. The world is already pushing everyone. Algorithms, appetites, fears. Become the counterweight. Become the gravity. The fourth law, scarcity of presence, abundance of impact. Do not be everywhere. Appear when stakes are high, then vanish. People respect the man whose time is rare and whose decisions are final. The fifth law, ambiguity as armor. Clarity for yourself, ambiguity for others. The more they guess, the more they reveal. The more they chase your center, the more you own the tempo. The sixth law, reward with precision, punish with restraint. Reward above expectation when loyalty proves itself. Punishment only once, proportionate, unforgettable. Never out of anger, only out of principle. A single measured consequence echoes louder than a storm of tantrums. The seventh law: make allies by aligning incentives, not by pleading for loyalty. Loyalty built on emotion breaks. Loyalty built on structure holds. Build structures, shared wins, clear roles, precise boundaries. Praise in public, correct in private, replace in silence. The eighth law: own the frame of meaning. People don't fight reality, they fight the story about it. Create the story, what this loss teaches, what this win demands, what this standard means. Narratives are levers. Pull gently, move mountains. The ninth law: choose terrain and timing. Do not fight on ground chosen by noise. Delay when emotion is high, strike when attention is low. A patient decision can erase 100 hasty ones. The 10th law: never explain more than once. Explanation is cheap. Demonstration is expensive and remembered. Show your standard, enforce it, move on. The 11th law: compartmentalize. Keep roles separate, channels distinct, access limited. When people don't know where the walls are, they test everything. When the walls are known, they operate within them. The 12th law: keep an exit. Power without exits rots into panic. Options make you calm. Calm makes you unreadable. Unreadable makes you untouchable. The 13th law: ritualize your dominance over self before you attempt to shape others. Morning discipline, focus sprints, strategic solitude, information fasts. If you cannot say no to yourself, your yes to the world is a confession of weakness. Now listen, here we engineer the mind like code. Inputs, outputs, feedback loops. When the loop is tight, power compounds. Audit your loops. What you consume shapes what you think. What you think shapes what you do. What you do shapes what you attract. Harden the pipeline. Curate inputs. Command thoughts. Systematize action. Influence becomes the residue of disciplined systems. Speak less. Measure more. Adjust precisely. The 4 assets you guard like a dragon: attention, reputation, energy, leverage. Do not spend attention on chaos. Observe it, map it, reframe it. Do not gamble reputation on petty reactions. Save it for decisive acts. Do not leak energy into gossip, envy, or complaint. Convert it into study, training, execution. Do not mistake effort for leverage. One smart lever moves what 1,000 hours cannot. Use compounding. A 1% edge daily is revolution in a year. Use separation. Keep builders close. Keep talkers entertained at distance. Use cadence. Predictable rhythms make you unstoppable. Randomness breaks the undisciplined, not you. And when manipulation hunts you, let it. Watch it. Dissect it. Exploit its predictability. The manipulative always reveal their hunger. Give them a small win, then close the gate. Your mercy is measured. Your boundaries are steel. Remember, kindness without boundaries is self-sabotage. Boundaries without kindness are brittle. Blend both. Steel wrapped in velvet, velvet sewn over steel. Keep your promises, especially to yourself. Keep your plans fluid, your principles fixed. Keep your circle narrow, your standards high. Keep your records. Data beats delusion. The world respects the man who can show receipts. Influence requires composure. Composure requires preparation. Preparation requires solitude. Do not fear your own company. A mind trained in silence can command in storms. This is the end game of invisible influence. You do not push, others shift. You do not plead, conditions align. You do not chase, gravity works. And if they ask how you do it, you smile and say nothing. Not arrogance, strategy. Your presence should feel like a verdict. Steady, final, unarguable. Carry yourself like a closed case. Speak like a signature. Move like a clock. Power, properly held, looks calm. Rage is for the powerless. Panic is for the unprepared. You will be neither. From now on, design before you act. Decide before you speak. Dominate yourself before you direct anyone else. Influence that begins within cannot be stolen from without. Seal it with one line in the comments. I move unseen. I decide outcomes. Number 11. The final trial of power. Every man claims he wants power, but few are willing to pay its price. The truth is that power is not given, it is taken, and it is never taken without sacrifice. To ascend, you must die as the man you are and be reborn as the man you are meant to become. The trial is brutal, and most men fail before it even begins. They fail because they cannot endure solitude. They fail because they cannot sever attachments. They fail because they fear the silence that reveals who they really are. You must not fail. The final trial of power is not a battle against others. It is a battle against yourself, against the part of you that craves comfort, against the part of you that hungers for approval, against the part of you that still believes the world is fair. To pass this trial, you must crucify weakness on the altar of discipline. You must strip yourself bare until nothing remains but raw steel. Machiavelli warned that fortune favors the bold, but boldness is not recklessness. It is the cold, calculated will to seize opportunity without hesitation. That will only comes from the man who has been through fire and refuses to bow. You must endure the storm without flinching, endure betrayal without collapse, endure hunger without breaking. That is the crucible where power is born. To be sovereign, to be untouchable, to be feared and respected, you must first be willing to suffer what others cannot. When men run, you walk forward. When men break, you stand tall. When men compromise, you remain unyielding. And when the dust settles, the throne belongs to you because no one else was strong enough to claim it. The trial will tempt you with illusions. You will be offered comfort to abandon discipline. You will be offered friendship to betray your clarity. You will be offered applause to abandon sovereignty. You must refuse, because every offer has chains hidden beneath it, and every chain drags you back into weakness. The untouchable man chooses solitude over dependence, silence over noise, discipline over indulgence. He does not wait for luck. He bends luck through relentless preparation. He does not beg for respect. He forces respect through unbreakable presence. He does not hope for victory. He engineers it with cold calculation. The trial never ends. Every day is a test. Every decision is a battlefield. Every thought is either a soldier for your empire or a traitor conspiring against it. That is why most men live and die as pawns. They never even realize they were being tested. But you, if you listen, if you harden yourself, if you train your mind daily, you will pass. And when you pass, you will no longer seek validation because validation will seek you. You will no longer chase power because power will orbit you. You will no longer fear betrayal because betrayal will only expose who was never loyal. You will no longer fear loss because loss cannot touch the man who has mastered himself. This is the last and final law: to win every battle, to dominate every enemy, to command every field. You must become a man who is immune to the world's weapons. Fear cannot pierce you, flattery cannot blind you, comfort cannot seduce you, betrayal cannot shatter you. You are no longer reacting to life, you are dictating it. This is the state of untouchable sovereignty, the state of absolute power. Few achieve it, fewer keep it. But those who do shape the world in their image. The question is not whether the world will test you. The question is whether you will endure the test and emerge as one of the few. Decide now, seal it in your blood. Comment this final oath: I have passed the trial, I am untouchable, I am power. Etch it into your very identity. For from this moment on, the trial is yours to face, and victory is no longer optional, it is your destiny.